So these Cowboys out here just continuing to disappoint the fans and the entire Cowboy Nation. I mean, the stuff you'll see in Dallas, dog.
Man,
the craziness that you'll see in Dallas, it's outrageous, man. You'll see some crazy things, you'll hear some crazy things, and you're just like, what is going on? And I think, unfortunately, that does also translate to our Dallas Cowboys, because when you think about what's going on in Dallas, then you hear something like what's going on out at training camp for Dallas, and that is CeeDee Lamb continuing to hold out. The reporters gather around Jerry, and everybody's, wanting to get that one soundbite. Jerry will give you a soundbite.
Oh, always.
He's going to give you a quote because he's trying to be relevant and be in the news. And they ask him, like, how's the contracts going with Dak and CD and Micah, and especially CD, with CD holding out. And he basically comes out and he says, there's no urgency there to get the deal done. And so they ask him, like, what do you mean there's no urgency? And he kind of stumbles a little bit, and he's like, well, I graduated high school and I graduated college, but I wish I could find something to tell you, but I don't. He said, I don't know why I said that, but there's just no urgency to get the deal done. And in my mind, I'm like, did you just go full Joe Biden on us right quick? Like did you just? Like it just came out, and you don't know what happened, where you are. Did you piss your pants? And you're just having a senior moment, because when the guy that you're counting on to be your number one is holding out, and he says, "Oh, we don't have any sense of urgency." If you're trying to negotiate with the media, that's poor strategy. 1, 2. CeeDee Lamb quotes on it, and he's like, "LOL." That was his response to it. And then you got Micah retweeting everything. If you're negotiating through the media, it's stupid. My opinion is CeeDee Lamb ultimately has leverage, because what are you going to do? Roll out with Brandon Cooks as your 1 and Jalen Tolbert as your 2?
I hope not.
And that's exactly what they'll do.
I can see it. And now you got Dak, who's waiting on his contract. They pull him out early, and they're saying, well, it's ankle soreness. Coming off the heels of him being photographed in Mexico wearing a walking boot. There's concerns everywhere. Dallas is just completely turning into a crap show. Julio, man, when you hear Jerry Jones say there's no urgency to get a deal done with CD, and we still don't have contracts for the big 3, I would say, what are you thinking at that point, man? Like, what's going through your mind as a Cowboys fan after 29 years of mediocrity?
Oh man, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I was a little confused to begin with, to be honest, because I could have swore that 2 weeks ago I heard that CD had already signed his contract, that we already closed the deal. I think he had signed for like a 4-year contract at 134,000 or 134 million. So I was a little confused with the whole, we're still not done yet. The deal's still not done. We still haven't put any ink to paper yet. Nothing sealed. So when I started looking to it further and then finding out that, yeah, we're still waiting to find out what the deal is going to be made for CD, it's like, what the hell I mean, as a Cowboy fan, I'm thinking, what the hell are we waiting on? You know that he is one of the better receivers in the league. So why are we playing patty cake with this? What's going on here? Why are we holding up? The Dak thing, I understand, not saying that Dak's not worth it. He was a runner-up for the MVP last year, which to me screams that we should have already closed the deal with him. But I think that the Cowboys have gotten to a point to where they're like, look, We've already kind of made one big payday on him, and yet we still haven't made it, deep into the playoffs because of that. So I can see why they're being hesitant with Dak's contract. Micah, even though I love the defense and I love Micah Parsons, he hasn't really shown me that he can, like we always talk about, and we've talked about it several times on the podcast. He starts off the season really, really strong, does really, really well at the beginning of the season, and then starts to fizzle out towards the end. It happens almost every year. It's like a constant thing. So it's frustrating to see that we're still waiting and dealing with these, this lack of trying to push those contracts through, knowing that those are our key players. Some of our key players, I'm not going to say they're all of our key players, but some of our most important players that we have on our team that we need to make sure that we secure for the future of our team. But it's very concerning to hear Jerry just go, "Oh, well, I'm not really in a rush, or I'm not really worried about it, this and that and the other." It just, as a Cowboy fan, especially a diehard Cowboy fan that says we're going to the Super Bowl every year, that we're going to win by 40 every game, it's like, what the hell are we doing? What the hell are we doing right now? It's very frustrating. So I don't know, man.
You've got an owner that basically says every year, well, we got to make sure that we leave salary cap to sign our big players, but then doesn't sign the big players. So what the hell are we saving the money for if we're not going to sign nobody? That's retarded.
Yeah,
we can't. We're selling hopes and dreams, but we're not delivering on anything. It's kind of just like empty, shallow promises, and it's just getting worse as the preseason goes on. Trill, what say you, man? Like, what are your thoughts on this whole nonsense?
I mean, it's like I told y'all when the season ended last year. The only way that the change is gonna come is when they start seeing it hit their pockets. What happened this year during training camp? Low attendance. When has that ever happened? Probably back in 88, 60, 63. You know what I'm saying? Like when we were really, really trash. Bro, I don't buy into anything that Jerry Jones says. Like, he's an excellent salesman. He talks a great game. And in his younger days, you could say he was a wordsmith. But now he's Jerry Biden. I mean, I just, bro, I don't buy into none of this shit. Like, at the end of the day, bro, if we don't have CeeDee Lamb here when the season starts, he'll be there within the first 3 games. Because then they're ultimately gonna pay him. The Cowboys never want to give somebody they never want to make somebody the highest paid and make it easy for them.
Well, they did it with Zeke.
Bro, they didn't make it easy for him. He had to hold out. He held out too. I think the easiest contract they did to make someone the highest paid player within the last few years was DeMarcus Lawrence. I don't think he had any issues getting his contract, bro.
No, I think he held out.
No,
there was some drama with him where we didn't think he was going to come back.
No, I don't remember that. I remember him saying that either. I remember him saying it ain't my job to worry about the salary cap and who you got to pay. I remember him saying that, and then they gave him his money with no issues, bro. They made it hard for Zeke. They made it hard for Dak. They making it hard for CeeDee. Like, bro, just pay your players. You like homegrown talent. You don't want to go pick up any free agents. Pay your guys. Like you said, what the hell are you holding the money for?
Right.
To go, like, you Dollar General shopping anyways. So what are we trying to hold on to the money for?
It scares me to think that they're holding on to the pocketbook because they're looking to massively overhaul and just revamp this entire team. Like, I really feel like if they're not going to pay Dak, if they're not going to pay CD, if they're maybe not going to even pay Micah, I mean, I think they'll keep 2 of the 3 is my opinion. Which two? I don't know.
Bro, they're not gonna get rid of CeeDee, and they're not gonna get rid of Micah. Now they will get rid of Dak. I can see that.
Yep.
Jerry already don't love Dak, so I can see him getting rid of Dak. But CeeDee and Mike, he just gonna make it hard before he pay him, bro, and he gonna pay him.
Yeah.
So honestly, I think it's Steven being cheap that's preventing Jerry from just overspending like he normally would.
If you're holding him tight to that pocketbook, again, to me, it just comes across like you're saving that money to try to redo a roster. All the word coming out of training camp is Trey Lance is hot garbage, and it was a waste of a trade pick. And you're looking at basically Cooper Rush as your backup again, which, I mean, it just kind of is what it is. I'm sure there'll be some people in the video, they comment, they're like, well, Cooper Rush won 4 games when Dak was out and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, bro, come on now. Like,
yeah.
Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush is great he's great at what he does. A great backup. He's a good choice as a backup.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, bro, like, as much flack.
But he's not a starter, bro. He's not a starter.
No.
Like, as much flack as Dak gets, bro, what is your other options?
Exactly.
What are your other options at the end of the day?
And we can always go back
at least
to
you know this guy's going to get you to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the Joneses kind of appreciate is, well, we're competitive enough to make it into the playoffs. Maybe we can squeeze a win or two out and surprise somebody. And next thing you know, we're where we want to be. And it's like, no, bro, like, be certain. We know we can make it to the playoffs. Bro, make a move to ensure that you win a game or two.
Their number one problem is that they don't want to go get a real head coach, bro. Because, I mean, I don't want to take nothing away from what Green Bay did to us last year, but we should have won that game.
Boy, they put the fan on us last year.
Bro, that was a cakewalk to the Super Bowl, if there ever was a cakewalk.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, hey, what can you do? But until they go out and get a real head coach and somebody that somebody like Mike Zimmer, bro, honestly, until they go out and get a guy like that as their head coach, we just gonna be right back in the same predicament. It don't matter if they pay him or not.
You're not paying your players. You've got lame duck coaches across the board. Every coach is on a 1-year deal, basically.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of a message are you sending to your team? If you're a player on this team, you're already burdened with the thought of our head coach isn't even guaranteed to be here next year. What about me? Like, who wants to play like that? How do you succeed in that kind of environment? That's like knowing that they're doing layoffs at your job and they're like, hey, we're going to really have to downsize, but keep doing what you do, guys. And you're like, well, maybe my hard work will pay off, or maybe they'll fire me anyway. Like, what do you do?
And knowing most people the way that we think is that as soon as you start hearing the word, hey, there's going to be layoffs, but keep doing what you're doing, you're already looking at the
checking out, bro. You checking out. Yeah. You're putting that resume together and you're looking for an escape route.
Yep. Before it hits me, I'm gonna make sure that I get mine. Basically.
Exactly. So these Cowboys out here just continuing to disappoint the fans and the entire Cowboy Nation. Hopefully things get better before they continue to get worse. And these Cowboys end up, I mean, I never thought I'd be excited to hear, oh, we re-signed Dak, or we signed CeeDee, or we signed Micah. But bro, that is the all-in that we're looking at. That's what all-in means for this.
That's team. What all-in means?
That's exactly
it's just like I told you when he said it, bro. Where are we gonna go all in at? We don't want to pay nobody.
No,
we don't want to pay free agents. We don't want to pay our homegrown guys. We don't want to pay the players on the team, bro. So where are we all in?
Hey, bro, Jerry Jones is at the poker table. He's like, let me see what my hand is, and then I'll let you know if I want to play or not. It's like, no, bro, it don't work like that. You gotta pay to play. You gotta pay to play. And he's
not.
He's holding us down, bro. Hopefully, like I said, the Cowboys will do something this year, make a signing of some kind, trade, and we'll be competitive. But we'll see, man. We'll see how things shake out after this preseason, going into the regular season.